Well, good afternoon. On behalf of Northwestern State University, the NSU Foundation, it's a historical day here at Northwestern. My name is Brad Laird, Director of University Advancement. And as we go through this special announcement here at the Watson Library in the Cammie G. Henry Research Center, I tell you what, it's a very, very special day. You look at a lot of things that this university is built around. It's built around family. It's built around doing your job, doing it the right way. And starting at the top, that's where it starts at Northwestern State University. So to kind of kick off this announcement, it's my pleasure to introduce to you the leader and president of Northwestern State University, Dr. Randall J. Webb.
Thank you so much. As we all know, the library is the focal point of the academic sector of any college or university. And we're so very fortunate to have such a delightful library here at Northwestern that supports our academic mission as well as it does under its capable leadership. But you know, it's not too often when the archives section of the library gets set aside, as the Egan family has been kind enough to do with the archives at Northwestern. And this began about 45 years ago when a collection of papers for the Egan family was given to the archives at Northwestern. But recently, with the passing of Edward Egan and the use of a portion of his trust, he gave a gift to the archives at Northwestern that's really of a magnitude unlike any that we're accustomed to receiving for that area of the university. To say that we're grateful is an understatement. Today, in effect, this is a $250,000 day for Northwestern. On the one hand, we will be adding to our work at the softball complex as we prepare for the conference tournament with a $40,000 gift, and then this $200,000 gift to support and preserve the Egan collections, but other collections as well. When Mary Lynn Wernette came to my office to tell me about this, she looked stunned to me. And I think I know why. I was a little bit stunned myself. A gift of this magnitude for this purpose is so vital to Northwestern because our archives is used by people not just all over the South, not just all over America, but indeed people from all over the world come to the archives at Northwestern to do specialized research. So today is a great day for Northwestern, and an especially nice day for the Watson Library and the Cammie Henry Archives. At this time, I would like to introduce to you our provost, Dr. Lisa Abney, who will share remarks with you. Lisa?
What an exciting day this is. This archive is such a tremendous place. And I think if any of you have done research here, you know how much value this collection holds, particularly the Egan family collection as well as all the other ones we have. And without generous donors like the Egan family who gave their collections to us, we would not be as strong as we are, certainly. Not many libraries can say that they have a Fitzgerald letter, a Hemingway letter. I mean, these are fantastic collections that we have here, and Abby and her staff, Mary Lynn, they do a fabulous job of keeping all of this together, making sure that people have access, but also taking good care of these documents, which are so rare and are so important, not just to us as a university, but to literary history and to history in general. So this is such a great day for us to be able to know that we now have some great resources to tap into to continue to expand these collections and preserve them. We're very, very grateful to the Egan family for this, and to all of our donors who do so much to support the archive. But again, thank you for coming, and we do wish everyone continued success in the archive. We know it's a great place, and we appreciate all you do. And I'm going to let Abby Landry come up and say a few words about the wonderful library in general.
A collection like the Egan collection comes to us the way many collections do, come out of the blue. The Egan family did not have a particular connection to Northwestern. They were not alumni. They just wanted a place to put their repository of letters because I guess either they didn't want to throw them out or they recognized the historical significance. We get collections both ways. Either somebody thinks, well, they're important, or I just can't throw away Grandpa's letters, so they come to us. What makes this collection so unique, though, is what happened back in the spring when Mary Lynn came to me and she said, Ed Egan passed away. And I said, should I know him? And she said, no. It's just, it's the Egan collection, which I'd heard a little bit about. And she said, we have a letter from a lawyer that says that we were mentioned in his will. And I said, well, wonderful. And I think she probably told me the amount of money, but in my head, I heard $200. I didn't hear $200,000. And to be honest, I forgot all about it. So right before Christmas, Mary Lynn said the check came. And I said, what check? And she said the $200,000 check, and I'm sure my jaw dropped open. And I said, what? And she showed it to me. I've never seen that many zeros on a check before. And she said, remember the Egan Trust I told you about? And something clicked back in my mind. And that's really what's so important about this whole collection, is that the Egan family felt it important enough to make sure that we're able to preserve not just their collections, but the other collections in the archives, because that's the whole key, is to be able to have these letters and documents and maps and diaries, not for today, but for tomorrow and 100 years from now. And that's the whole goal of what we do, is preserve these for scholars. And that's what's so rare about it, is both the fact that they recognize this and the amount they gave us. With this amount of money, we can do a lot of preservation. We can buy equipment. We can do some things that have been virtually impossible in the past. And so this is really what's so fabulous, because as strong as our archives has been and will be, this type of donation is going to make it even stronger. And the fact that it came with such an interesting collection, I was actually looking it over a little while ago, and I found out that Bartholomew Egan had actually set up in Martinsville, Virginia. Now, Dr. Webb probably knows where that is. That's where I was born, in Martinsville, Virginia. So you see, there's so many webs that weave in and out of this story. And so now I'm going to bring University Archivist Mary Lynn Wernette up, and she's going to talk to you about the collection itself. Mary Lynn Wernette.
Well, the collection at Northwestern State University is a sort of a family collection. I think when you get involved at Northwestern, it is a family already. And the collection reflects Northwestern's spirit. And that is a family-oriented collection. Whether you're a researcher doing research in the archives or a donor, you become part of Northwestern. And so this collection was established here back in the 60s. Catherine Bridges was the archivist here. She made contact with the Egan family, and they said, we have some important papers that reflect the Civil War in Louisiana, reflect medical history of Louisiana. It discusses an Irish family that comes to Virginia. It also discusses a family who moves into the different denominations of freedom of religion in America. It has a very diverse collection in that even in the 19th century, they were discussing things of taking herbal medicines at the state lab in Mount Lebanon University, at the state lab in Mount Lebanon, at Bienville Parish. So that the collection contains several letters back and forth, receipts of the medical labs, discussion between the Surgeon General and also the Confederate military on all of these medical avenues in the state. So as you go through the collection, what I hope you do is look at the documents that I have out on display, and I hope that you get a chance to look at what the collection has an opportunity for more research. And that's, again, when the Egan family contacted me, when Edward Egan would contact me, he would ask me, now who's doing research in the collection? And I would tell them who was doing research in the collection. Then he would ask, well, now, is this a thesis or is this an article? May I have a copy of it? And then he would call me back and we would talk a little bit, and he'd say, oh, I see how much has been done on this collection. So we were discussing the importance of the research then. It just pole vaults this now into a dimension of more research in the future. And so I think it's a wealth of information for now and in the future researchers for Northwestern and those studying North Louisiana's history. Thank you.
Well, as I said at the beginning, what a historical day, and I think Dr. Webb, when he talked about a $250,000 day, that's great for the university. And again, I want to thank Dr. Webb, Dr. Abney, Abby, and Mary Lynn for the job that you've done, because when I look at this story, Ed Egan had no connection to Northwestern State University besides trusting this university with the collection. And I think, and I talked about it at the beginning, the hard work, the day-to-day activities that this university does exemplifies his trust in us to continue to hold on to that collection and knowing that it's going to be in trusted hands. And we just thank y'all for everything that you've done. Please feel free to look at the collections. I know Abby and Mary Lynn will be around to ask questions if there's any questions that you do have. Again, thank everybody for coming.